Welcome to today's episode of the Banking on Community podcast. I am so excited to have a full hour with you all today to talk with our summer interns at Keystone Bank. And we're going to split this up in groups and get started. But before we hop in, I want to go ahead and introduce a couple of folks with you that are sitting here today. We've got Luke Lassiter joining us from Baylor University, pursuing a major in finance, entrepreneurship, and corporate innovation. He's due to graduate this December.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Welcome aboard. Hopefully you've had a good summer. We've got John Luke Roberts joining us, rising senior at SMU, has his sights set on a future in real estate finance with an expected graduation date in spring of 2024. Congratulations to you. That's coming around the horn fast.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, guys.
Good to be here.
I'm excited to know both your dads. You're both great guys, so I'm excited to have had you guys here this summer, helping us try to get a new look on banking from your eyes. So tell me a little bit. I'll start with you, John Luke. Tell me a little bit of what drew you to Keystone Bank for an internship.
So freshman year, I worked for a home builder. And then sophomore year, I worked for Prime Multifamily, which is a multifamily company. And then junior year, worked for HPI, doing kind of full service, looking mostly into office and industrial. And this year, I really wanted to get some experience in banking and actually learn how people finance those deals. And so I talked to my dad, and he sent me a couple contacts and ended up finding a spot at Keystone, and very happy I'm here.
Awesome. We're excited you decided to join us. Luke, tell me a little bit. Same question. How did you settle on selecting Keystone Bank for an internship? What interested you about that opportunity this summer?
So I've always been more interested in my entrepreneurship major side. Like, I've worked with startup companies. I've started my own businesses in the summers. I figured it was time I really needed to get more experience in my finance major. And I knew that a lot of that meant I've been doing a lot in real estate. A lot of my classes have been focused in real estate. And so a lot of it was looking at the lending side. And so I knew I needed to get a little bit of experience on my finance side. I was looking at a financial advisor position or potentially the bank.
All right, good choice.
Yeah.
Come to the community bank.
But so I did. I actually went to my dad and talked to him, and he was the one who recommended that I reach out to you. And that's how I ended up here. And I'm happy. I love it.
That happens a lot. We have a lot of really passionate investors and customers of Keystone, and I am very blessed. I get calls early, like I know you all worked early this year. I get calls for those go-getters. I get calls early in the year from a lot of these folks and saying, "Hey, are you looking at?" And I go, "Yeah, we do interns at Keystone Bank, and we've got 5 this summer. It's exciting for us." So, well, that's all good answers. As someone with a fresh perspective, what are some of the ways you could see the banking industry innovate or improve? Just the banking industry as a whole. You've been here long enough. You've seen some things. Tell me what you guys think. How do you see it?
I'd say like connecting with people, and then also streamlining the process, like just making it super easy for people to come to the bank, talk to people, like actually build relationships.
So you're saying do what we do in the banking industry, but make it simpler. Mm-hmm. It doesn't need to be complicated.
It doesn't need to be complicated.
And we think it does, because we have a lot of banking regulations, and you're saying, you know what? Yeah, but I'm coming up in my career, and I've got a long future ahead of me, and this banking industry better get this figured out, because consumers like you are like, you don't put up with hard stuff.
Well, that's why we're leading in innovation, because I think the process here has been a lot smoother. I mean, I don't have a lot of experience with other banks or like learning how the process works for other places, but for here it just seems simple, and you're able to get from point A to point B without having to worry about anyone messing up.
So you're saying at our culture, it's kind of a no-nonsense situation.
Yes, absolutely.
You can get to A to B very quickly.
Yes. Not
a lot of bureaucracy. Thank you for saying that. I didn't plant that. I didn't pay you to say that. But that's nice to hear.
I'm not a paid actor.
That's good. How about you? What do you think, Luke?
I think as far as like improving the industry, or at least the efficiency, a lot of it would be like, for us, we've spent a lot of time with the credit analysts and seeing that as mostly data gathering and organizing, whether it's through the clients trying to get tax returns or waiting on getting credit reports, whatever it is. I think that the only way that you could really improve the process would be to find a way to just like get all that done in one quick process.
Yeah.
Because right now it is a lot of like reaching out and, hey, do you have do you have these tax returns? Do you have these financials? And just trying to like find all these different
I feel
pieces.
like there are days though that we have some clients, so we need to embed a chip in them that goes with them that we read. Some are better than others at actually producing the data.
Yeah.
Well, not even producing, but just actually getting it to us. But
Yeah.
what you're saying is like you still need to make it easier for the client, even the hard one.
Yeah. I
Because
think
the easier you make it, the more the simpler you make it, the more compliance you're going to have. It's kind of your take.
yeah. I would
Don't
think
give
so.
up. Keep working on it.
Yeah.
Don't just assume it's always going to be a hard process.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good answer. And you would know. You've spent a lot of time trying to help collect tax returns, I think.
We have spent a lot of time down there.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's I'm going to ask you both again. And this is hard for me because we have Luke and then we have John Luke. So, but John Luke, you start. Tell me a little bit about what's been your favorite project that you've been a part of this summer.
I would say the underwriting we've done. It's kind of all encompassing, and we actually get to see everything about the loan and the terms and just the whole process, and looking at if someone, the guarantors, can we loan to this person? Is this our best option? Just being able to see that process start to finish. So it's like my favorite project I've worked on.
Kind of pulls it all together if you could look at it and go, this guy doesn't need to be borrowing this kind of money for this kind of a project.
Yes.
Yeah. But we don't have a lot of those. We don't send a lot of that kind of stuff through underwriting. But it is fun to see, right? I mean, yeah, I can see how this individual has done this before. They got a good plan. Numbers look great. You can see all that in the picture.
Yeah.
You pull it
One
all
of the
together.
cool things about that though is even when the numbers didn't necessarily make perfect sense, there was still another solution
Yeah.
that you could
There are
find.
other mitigating factors
Exactly.
or
There was
other ways
always
to
mitigants.
mitigate the
other
risk.
ways to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Which is what our clients are asking us is this is one way to do it. What are the other ways that we could do it?
Yeah.
And how does your bank look at it? And what kind of solutions can you bring to the table? And sometimes that's not necessarily the exact same thing that they thought when they picked up the phone and called us. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that's really surprised me is that there actually is a lot of flexibility within those loans and the terms that you can create. Like you can make it work for people.
We're not a cook. You don't have to put a round hole, a round peg in a round hole. I mean, we can get creative,
Yeah.
consultative. We have guidelines and boundaries, but we don't have bright lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says you either do it this way or you don't.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you guys got to see that because that's the hallmark of a community bank. That's the difference. So you've now passed the test of what's the difference between a bank and a community bank.
Yeah.
Good job. Well, so I think you answered the question, but let me tee it one more time. What's been your favorite project?
I have a feeling you're going to get a similar response from each of the interns. We
it is.
all loved the underwriting.
Great.
It was just, like I said, I wanted to get more experience in the finance side of my studies and being able to go in
Pull
and
it all
see
together.
all the way from the loan request to the origination to the term sheet to creating the whole underwriting.
That's great.
It was a great process.
Did you work with all the people back there?
Oh, yeah.
We worked everybody with Lexa and everybody.
Oh, yeah. And we would have they would come in with us and they would go through how to spread a CBR or a PFS, whatever it was. They would walk us through step by step, write it out on the whiteboard.
Look at you quoting bank lingo.
Oh, it was
already.
awesome. No,
You're a pro.
We loved
That's great.
the whole experience with the credit analysts.
Nice. We got a good
They were
crew back there.
super helpful.
Yeah.
Like any questions, I didn't feel nervous to go ask them. Like they were ready to stay there and invest and like
Every
actually
meeting
make
they
sure
were
we
pulling us
understood.
in.
That's great.
I mean, we went through advanced financial analysis training with John
That's
Newman,
good.
new hire. We went through all of his new training processes. So
That's awesome. Very cool.
We're already a credit analyst. at
You
this
are.
point.
That's right.
Pretty much.
So if you had one piece of advice to tell a next group of interns next summer, what would it be?
I think my advice would be know what it is you want to learn coming into this, because the thing that we've all come to love about Keystone is how open everybody is and how willing everybody is to share what it is they do and what it is they're passionate about. And so like John Luke and I would go around and pick somebody and we go, hey, do you mind if we follow you around for a little bit, or if you just walk us through what you do on a day-to-day? And everyone's been so helpful. Not a single person has said no to us. We've got to sit in on ELC, on whatever it is.
ELC being another
The
bank term,
Executive
executive loan
Loan
committee.
Committee.
That's management loan committee.
Yeah, we I mean, that would be my advice, is just go for whatever it is, know what you want to go after and go for it. No one's going to tell you no, and you can learn whatever it is or however much you want to learn.
Great advice. How about you?
Yeah, I'm going to keep it simple. If you have a question, ask it, because there's going to be someone there that has an answer or wants to help you, learn more about banking.
There are no bad questions.
Exactly.
It's just bad when you don't ask them.
Yeah.
That's good.
The only bad question
like
is
that.
one not asked.
That's right. Very good. How has your time here helped guide your career path? Now, we talked a little bit about why you chose Keystone earlier, but tell me a little bit about how has your time this summer helped guide you through your career path?
Well, I think specifically with real estate, it's really important to know about like the flexibility a bank has and how to actually work with the bank, so that if you ever do get into trouble or you're having cash flow problems, you can talk with them and figure out a solution, maybe like changing the deposit or move around the LTV, stuff like that you can actually work with the bank, especially if they're a community bank and they actually care about you, to make your deals work and, be prosperous that way.
You think that's helped you cement the direction you're going when you're done next spring? You feel like the summer got you further along that path?
I think it definitely enlightened me to a lot of new ideas.
How cool community banking is.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
probably
that's number one.
You probably didn't think that when you're like sitting at SMU and Baylor. You're like,
No,
well,
I'm sure we probably didn't even have
a little bank in Austin. I mean, how cool could that be? That's not really cool. That's not an investment bank, or that's not like Endeavor Real Estate in Austin. Or
I just wasn't really sure what it meant.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now you know.
Now I know.
There you go. How about you? What do you feel like that this has helped cement in your mind a little bit, some guide to your career path or direction?
I don't know if I would say it's been more my career path or my direction in life. I think it's been extremely beneficial in just knowledge and knowing how it works, how the whole industry works. Also there were things like day one when we're spreading, just putting in other people's numbers into our own Excel files. And I'm learning, how are all these successful people, where are they putting their money? How are they investing their money? What is it the wealthier people
That's
own?
the part I love. By the way, that's the part I love. About I'm a numbers guy, but I love seeing how other people
Exactly. You
have
can
turned
learn
nothing
so
into
much.
success.
Yeah, actually,
Over and over again.
Yeah.
It just created something from nothing.
Yeah.
And it's fun to see that, isn't it? It's
is.
fascinating to see what these people do to make a living.
Yeah. And it kind of takes a lot of the pressure away.
Yeah.
Because, a lot of times, especially just, I'm right at the age now where I'm getting out of college and about to go into a career and into the real world, and seeing all the different numbers and everybody's different places in life and everything. It kind of takes the pressure off. You realize how much different everyone's scenario is and how much everything can change when you follow what's working.
Yeah. That's great. I like it. Tell me what you're most proud of accomplishing at Keystone during the summer?
Honestly, just how much I've learned. Like you said, I don't know the difference,
good.
I guess,
So
between a community bank and a regular bank.
You invested to get the knowledge and you got it.
Yeah. So that's really what I'm proud of.
I again think it's just that having the whole process down of how getting a loan actually works or requesting a loan. I think that's extremely beneficial. I think it's something we're going to use whether we actually go into the banking industry or just throughout our own professional careers.
I'm feeling pretty confident about that you'll take away and you'll be able to very quickly see the value of a community bank versus a national bank.
Yeah. I feel like we already
or a large
have.
regional bank.
I totally agree.
For the rest of your career. I think that's great. I want to thank you guys for being here this summer, though. I think you guys did a great job. I hope that it was a great experience and it's something you won't ever forget. And make sure you keep us in mind as you think about where you're going to land after college, because we're always looking for really smart people that are good people that fit with our team. And I think you and all our interns fit really, really well. So,
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming on, gang.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Awesome. Before we hop in, I'm going to go around and introduce everyone that's with us here in the room today. And we've got such a large class this summer, we kind of broke it up. So, but to my left here, we have Paola Zermeño Arenas, who's an incoming junior at the University of Texas, Austin, specializing in economics with a minor in accounting. And we have Zoe Bullard, who we're excited to have is a senior at Texas A&M University, majoring in economics. Seems to be a popular degree. and business. Zoe's future plans include pursuing a master's in economics, all set to graduate in spring of 2025. And last but not least, we have Skylar Mackey, who hails from Colorado State University in Fort Collins, Colorado, beautiful part of the world. No wonder you chose to go to school there, where she's studying business marketing, and you're going to get out in the spring of 2026.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to you all.
Thank you.
And thanks for being a part of Keystone for this summer.
We're happy to be here.
Oh man, the whole bank they've had a blast with you guys, and I think we had I think I'm going to embarrass Skylar. I think we had Skylar back there doing tax returns and spread, and she was like, "This is awesome, but I'm a marketing major." No, I think that's great. So I think you've been able to help us with a ton of marketing stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get into all of that, but what I'm going to ask each of you the same question. Paula, what drew you to interning at Keystone Bank?
Well, last semester I went to Lori Logan's conference on the economic outlook, and that's where I met you. And I was surprised when you came to talk to me because I was not expecting to meet anybody, to be honest. And when you shared like your knowledge to me, like out of all the professionals that were in that room, and when you mentioned that you had started 2 banks and that you currently worked at Keystone, I was like, I have to get an opportunity to work for somebody who has like such a strong passion for mentorship. And yeah, the rest is history.
Awesome. Well, you're the one that followed up.
Yeah.
That was good of you. Zoe, how about you?
Well, some of you may know my sister Alexis is a credit analyst here.
She's
at
not
the
just a
bank.
credit analyst now. She's the chief credit analyst. She's the boss.
She is the boss.
She's in charge.
Yes, for sure. And she just spoke so highly about this bank, about the values and working with all of the people, building the relationships, all about it. She just loves her job so much. She talks so much about it. And it really drew me towards the idea of community banking. And
Awesome.
Yeah, so.
That's great. Skylar, how about you?
I would say, coming out of my freshman year, I just really wanted more experience in the career world and, being able to like work with a group of people. And it seemed like Keystone Bank was the best opportunity for that, for me to learn and grow. And,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, we met you through your dad.
Yes, you did.
Which we that happens a lot. We have some really passionate fans out there in the marketplace that love what Keystone's about. Your dad's one of them, and I think you were ahead of the curve, and you were getting out there, and just like the rest of you, and we get those calls sometimes, and hey, are you guys doing internships at the bank? And I'm like, yeah, we do. Okay, so this is where you get to tell us a little bit, give the listeners a little bit of a glimpse about what it's like for you being inside of a community bank for a short period of time, when many of you no experience or exposure to that. So as someone that I would consider to have a fresh perspective, what are some ways that you could see the banking industry in whole to innovate or improve? Now, Skylar, how about you?
I think that the banking will kind of change and grow more from the marketing and social media side of things.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Keystone is a great example of a bank that does a great job of using social media to connect with their clients, and I think that it's really cool to see where that's going.
Awesome. So you think social media and that that's really important that banks understand and embrace that form of marketing?
Yeah, exactly.
And because we, by and large, haven't, right, as an industry?
Yeah, no, I don't feel like a lot of
We're not very
banks
advanced.
have.
Yeah. Zoe, how about you?
I think just with a lot of technological advancements, it's going to keep continuing to come into banking, especially community banking. But I think that with community banking, people are still going to value the connections and relationships with people, no matter how advanced we get with technology in the future.
Interesting. Yeah. So there's always got to be you got to connect the people with the technology.
Oh, very true.
Technology doesn't replace the people.
For sure.
Unless you read books that are based in like 2050 and they say that we're all being replaced by computers, right?
Yeah,
No.
let's hope not.
Even
for
then, I
sure.
don't. I agree with you. I think there's still got to be some sort of human element
Some sort of trust there.
available
Yes.
when the customer
Yes.
wants to use that.
Because they talk about a screen, coming up with a, I don't know, robot or whatever it
Right.
is coming up, and you don't actually talk to a person,
Yeah.
but that, I mean, like you said, it goes back to the people and
Yeah.
what you trust.
Paola, how about you?
Well, I'm very interested as well to see how the community banks in particular adapt to technological advancements as well. And I'm particularly interested in seeing how community banks react to all the Fed now instant payments and all the changes that we've been seeing lately in the whole banking industry.
Well, that is interesting. You that's an interesting topic. Fed now. I thought we already had a fast enough money movement system, and now it's going to get even faster. So, I think that has ramifications for good and bad ramifications. That money can be that movable that quickly. What does that actually do to the value of the money itself and the form of the money? So it's interesting. It could be great. I've yet to understand my own personal opinion. I've yet to understand why, like I said earlier, why did we need it to be faster? And I still haven't heard the right things that assure me that it's taking less chance for fraud off the table instead of increasing, because it seems like you would, if you're going faster when you're moving, you're increasing the chance that there could be fraud or loss
Right.
because it went so fast. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. But it's gone. So that's very astute of you that you even knew that was out there.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
It is fascinating. There's about 100 banks in the country that signed up to be kind of participating in, and there's some market participants, and we're not participating in it yet, and it's kind of in its infancy. It's kind of rolled out,
we'll see what
2 weeks
happens.
ago or whatever, within the last month. Okay, so then I'm going to ask you guys, what's been your favorite project to be part of here at Keystone? Zoe.
Well, I think that this was already said, but we're definitely working with the credit analysts and doing learning how to do the projects that they do with the complete underwriting of potential loans and taking them to ELC or DLC. We've gotten to work a lot with them in that area, and we went from starting with spreads and working on that in Excel to doing a complete underwriting project. And
I'm
that was
so
really
excited that you got to do that.
Very cool.
That's you haven't been here that long.
cool. Yeah, it's
I'm
a
so-
lot of learning, a lot of very quickly.
How about you?
I've really enjoyed planning events a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. We need to do more of that, Skylar.
Yeah,
right?
no, it's a lot of fun.
It is, isn't it?
It
You've
is.
done a great job. Paola?
Well, my favorite project so far has been a market and collateral analysis that I did on a property that was assigned to me by Elijah.
Oh.
It was a very challenging yet rewarding task to do.
So you had to actually do the market analysis
Yes, sir.
and the collateral analysis
Yes.
for a loan. Mm-hmm. That is a challenge.
That
You
was
gotta-
new, yeah.
That is new. It's fun, isn't it?
A lot of fun.
Very engaging. No wonder it's your favorite. That's exciting. Okay, so if you've had a mentor that's made an impact on you during your time with Keystone, we'd like to hear about that.
I honestly think that all of the other interns have kind of taken me under their wing and like helped show me how to, survive in the career world.
That's
And
awesome.
They've showed me a lot, like when we first started the internship and I was doing the credit analysis stuff and things like that. Not exactly my field of study, but they
Right.
did a great job of showing me how to use Excel and doing all the equations and things like that.
That's awesome. How cool is that? That just made my day. Paola, how about you?
Just one. It's hard just to think of one. I honestly feel like I have a lot of people to thank for throughout this internship, but Peggy she's definitely one of them. She's
Peggy Foreman.
Yes, Peggy
She's-
Foreman. She's just the most caring person, and I've gotten to know her pretty well during those rides that she gave me, like to all the branches.
Nice.
And yeah, also
great.
Christine has been keeping me busy here.
Christine?
Yes.
Nice. So Peggy Foreman is our head of HR, and Christine is our head private client banker and branch manager. She runs all of our branches, and those two. You probably don't realize that, but those two have been a team together for years.
They told
in the
me.
banking industry. hmm
Yeah.
When I hired Peggy, she says the problem is that you don't just get to hire me. I have somebody that you
Christine's
have to
with me.
hire with me, and it was Christine. And then we're so glad we have both of them here. That's good to hear. Zoe, how about you?
I agree with Paula. I think that it's just not one person. Everybody has been so
You
helpful.
can't say your sister.
Well, her team is actually
Her team.
the group of people that have taken the most time to really teach us a lot about what a credit analyst does.
Yeah.
Like the day in the life of a credit analyst, they've taken the time to teach us how to do everything, which has led us up to doing a whole underwriting project, which is what they do. And I just think that was been really cool that they've taken the time out of their busy days to come and help
awesome.
us.
You know what my favorite part of this internship class this summer is, and Skylar, it's good to hear you say that, because from an outside looking in, it looked to me like you all really were tight. Like you're a good group. And I went back to the back where the building that you're in, and there's a conference room. You all are working out there. What's the sign say on the outside? You've named the conference room.
Big picture room.
Big
The big picture room. And I was like, okay, they're not only smart, but they're funny, and I love it. And that's one of my favorite moments, is just seeing the big picture room. I thought that was great.
Lots of big stuff going on.
Lots
there.
of big ideas. Lots of big ideas coming out of that room. If you could tell the next intern a piece of advice, what would you share? Zoe.
I think definitely getting involved as you can within the relationships at the bank, making the connections, going up, introducing yourself. I was scared my first week to go up and introduce myself to everybody, because I was like, oh, I'm so scared. Like, they're working, like they have other things to do. But everybody's been so nice and kind and open to teach us new things. And that would be the one piece of advice I would give, just to get out there and
Get out there.
Get out there and speak.
Invest. That's good. Skylar, how do you look at that?
I would just tell them to keep up the hard work. I mean, I know that 3 of them are graduating soon, so I'm really excited to see what they're able to do with their experience and what they accomplish in the future.
Nice. Paula?
And I would tell them to always run the extra mile. I would tell them to go above and beyond what is expected of them and to ask as many questions as possible.
Nice. That's really good advice, because it is all of your perspectives is good, because a lot of people, when they have these internships, it's the first time we've been told about work, but it's the first time that we ever get in to actually experience work and actually learn how to work. And it's fun when you're learning how to do it together with a group of other interns. It's fun. And all the mean people at Keystone. No, we got a good crew.
Very good.
Okay, and we're going to finish up with this, and I know we kind of touched on it a little bit, but I think what I'm asking for is I really would like to hear you tell me what you're most proud of accomplishing during your time with Keystone. Paula?
Well, definitely the relationships that I've cultivated during my time here at Keystone, I would say. I've met a lot of incredible people, all with different backgrounds, and I've gotten to learn a lot from them, and that's what I'm taking primarily.
Nice.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. I feel like I've been able to get out of my box a lot more.
Nice.
And be more social.
That's awesome. So, Zoe?
I would have to third that, but I'll definitely agree with all the connections and taking the time to make those for sure. And then also just all of the projects that we've learned how to do, and, learning more about the banking industry and being able to do that. That's what I came here for this summer. And I really felt like I got to take out a lot of this internship.
Well, we sure have had a ball having you this summer. It was last summer's class was a pretty high bar. And so I was anxious to see how this summer would turn out, and I've just been very, very pleased with the group that we've had and the camaraderie that I've seen just amongst yourselves has been awesome. And we're so excited you decided to spend your summer with us, and we'll be rooting for you whatever you're doing in your career, whether it's back here with Keystone when you get graduated or you're going to move on to something else. But know that we'll always remember what you guys did for us, because you do a lot. You do a lot more for us than you realize.
Thank you.
It's good. Much. It's good for us to have you here. It's good for our team to share and download with you what they know about this, and I'm excited for you. Thanks for joining Banking on Community from Austin, Texas. Today's episode gave you an aha moment. Would you let us know? We'd love to hear from you. You can come into one of our branches and share with us what you loved about today's conversation, or reach out to us on social media. Community banking is about solving problems, not just for customers, but for neighbors. If you know someone in our community that would benefit from this conversation, please share this podcast with them.